You know what it is, you know who it is. Welcome to another video. So today is video 1. We're going to be going over aerobic capacity. I'm going to be talking to you guys about sustainability and what I've been talking about over the last couple weeks, the what, why, and how. I want to dive a little bit deeper into this in the coming weeks, but I wanted to give you guys a little bit of an overview of what I've been talking about, a little bit more detail, and kind of show you guys the progression that I want to work with, so you guys have a little bit of a better understanding. So let's start. So the first thing I want to get over and out of the way, aerobic capacity. We're talking about the ability to sustain. So we're moving for long periods of time. We're keeping a steady pace here, which I'm going to get into a little bit more, but the ability to sustain over a long period of time. So to kind of go over the definitions, aerobic, which we're going to be talking about, this is where we're going to be, is with the presence of oxygen. So extended periods of cardio, we're going to have to be breathing a lot. Anaerobic, without the presence of oxygen, aka power output. So short bursts of strength. You know, we're lifting a heavy weight, we're doing things within 30-second time period, 20-second, 10-second time period. We're not going to need that oxygen. We're going to be using other energy systems. But what I want to be talking about today is just specifically aerobic sustainability with the presence of oxygen. So the what. So what is aerobic capacity and what am I talking about sustainability? So endurance, basically that's all we're looking at here. It's the ability to sustain movement for a long period of time. So anything over, 5 minutes, when I'm asking you to move and move at a sustainable pace for 5 minutes, keeping that pace and moving and moving and moving and never really stopping. That's what I'm looking for here. Endurance, we're looking at running, biking, rowing, anything that can be done that's low contraction, meaning we're not doing a lot of contraction, like our muscles aren't extending and contracting a bunch of times within something. We're just moving and moving and moving and moving and moving. So right here, the what is, I want to show you 3 different things. So this right here is the first energy system, and this is only necessary if you're looking to compete in a sport, or you have something within your life that is in dire need of working this energy system. We're never going to be there. Most of us in here are never going to be in there unless you ask, or you have something that you're doing in your day-to-day life that I find it necessary, or we find it necessary together, that you should be doing. The second one is on occasion. We may come there on occasion with tests, working to specific weights, or working in specific conditioning pieces where we introduce you to a test and we want to come back and retest that test, and we're going to be in that energy system a couple times, but we're going to be living in the sustainability. So this long ending line right here, the one that goes from end to end, this side is P and this side is time. So P is for power and T is for time. Our power output, as you can see, is very low, and we're just moving for an extended period of time. This is us. This is where we're going to be living. So the what of aerobic capacity and sustaining is showing repeatability within a session. So showing repeatability from set to set to set. All right? So the why. The why, there's a lot of reasons why. This is why I want to start having us do this more and learning about this a little bit more. Sustainability is the ability to learn pace. So being able to breathe, being able to know when you're pushing it and not going hard enough, knowing and learning about your body and being able to put a power output out and know that, okay, I could probably do this for a couple hours, or I don't know if I can do this for 10 more seconds. Doing that takes time. It's learning to breathe. It's learning to balance yourself while we're moving. It's learning to become aerobic. And once we get into this a little bit more and you guys understand the idea of becoming aerobic, it makes a lot more sense. Being able to make something aerobic is where we want to be. When we're moving and we're getting into a spot where we're breathing heavy and we're kind of like losing focus and we're losing energy, and we don't want to be in that a lot. Those are fine every once in a while to touch that level of intensity where we're making sure we're moving in the right direction and testing ourselves. But most of the time, 80% of our training, we want to be in this zone of sustainability. Becoming aerobic is one of those things that's very important, and being able to make things aerobic, make contractions aerobic, meaning we're able to do them for long periods of time without having to exhaust too much effort. And when we can get in that mode or in that area of training, that's when we know we're moving in the right direction. Specificity. Specificity is really cool with this stuff because we can kind of break this down, which I'll get to in these progressions later in today, but later on as I dive into them a little bit deeper. We can break these down specifically to people's needs and functions and desires and wants, because each of these has a reason to them, a time range, and we can break this down to what is the goal of that person, what are their true necessity, what's their true need, and a lot of that can be done within this. And because it's so broken down and so relaxed and well thought out, we get a lot out of it. Coming up to this side, we have balance of our body. So with sustainability, it puts us in a position where we can actually function how we're supposed to, breathe like we're supposed to. It's going to help us move better, think better, and become better, more efficient, better moving humans. So the balance in our body is going to come with hormonal changes. It's going to come with better sleep. It's going to come with better eating. When we're pushing ourselves on a day-to-day basis and redlining with every single workout, people don't look at stress the way they should. Stress is a stress no matter what. If someone kicks you in the knee, or you stub your toe, or you had a project at work and it didn't go great, or your boss is yelling at you, that's all a stress, just like as if you were doing a workout. So when we have all those stresses every single day and we don't have any way to kind of counteract that or learn about ourselves a little bit better and sustain, it's pound, 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 and we're never going to get better. So this balance on our body, by learning sustainable, repeatable efforts, is going to put us in a position where we're going to sleep better, we're going to eat better, we're going to be able to relax, and we're going to be able to tell ourselves when we're going too fast and learn about our pace and learn about our breathing. Patience. I put this star next to this because a lot of people need it. And this is something that, as we get into, you guys are going to see with these progressions, they take a long time. And we're going to be there for a long time. Doing them the right way, MAP 10, just for example, are 60-minute intervals, and we're supposed to be on this for 10 or 8 weeks. So we're sitting on the bike or the row or doing something that's aerobic for 60 minutes for 8 weeks. That requires patience. That's going to translate to a lot of other areas in our life. Being able to stay patient and wait for these results, because this is a progression that, as we take, is going to be best results for fat loss, or best results for getting where we need to go, or learning these different aspects. But it takes time. It's not going to happen in 30 days. It's not going to happen in 2 months, 3 months. But once we go through these progressions and we get where we need to be, this is building a foundation for making sure that down the line we don't lose this stuff. A lot of people lose their conditioning, or they never have a solid base of conditioning because they're always doing different workouts that they can't sustain, and they're not repeatable, and they have no idea of how to progress that stuff. This is all progressible. This is specific to what you need, and it teaches you patience. And this is where you want to live if you're trying to lose fat and kind of really get healthy. This is the healthy zone for you. This is health. This is wellness. This is where you should be. One of the last couple things is learning to move more efficiently. Being in this sustainable setting, we're able to sit back and focus on movement, moving a little bit better, moving a little bit more efficiently. When we're in that high intensity atmosphere and we're not really thinking about how we're moving, we're just thinking about getting it done. With this stuff, we're sitting back, we're able to relax, we're able to breathe, we're able to focus on movements, how we're moving, how long we're moving, how does it feel? Are we moving at a good pace? Are we not moving at a good pace? Are we able to speed it up? Are we not able to speed it up? If you can think about that stuff while you're doing some workouts, then that's really good. And it gives you the opportunity to kind of really learn about yourself and really make sure you're in the right spot. So I put this here too. GPP is general physical population, so just kind of like the normal everyday gym goer. This is where we need to be. This is where we need to live. We never really need to step out of this. A lot of the people that come through our doors, if you start on this progression, you may never get through this whole thing, but you're gonna get through what's necessary for you, and I just want you guys to realize that. So this progression, we'll get into the how, which I'm gonna get into in a couple weeks because I kinda wanna keep this video a little bit short. I'm already at about 10 minutes. So the how is these progressions. So looking at all of this, we're looking at the what is endurance and our ability to sustain movement for a long period of time. That why is our ability to learn pace, balance our body, learn breath, patience, becoming aerobic, learn to move more efficiently, specificity, and why we should live here. And you might be asking, well, how do I do that? It sounds really cool, but how do I do that? So we have progressions, maximal aerobic power. That's what that MAP stands for. And there's 10 different levels to this, I'll call them. We start at MAP 10, and we work our way all the way down to MAP 1. Now within each of these is time, rest, volume, and repeatability. Probably the most important aspect of all of this. MAP 10, I'll give you a little insight on, but I'm gonna break each of these down in the coming weeks. Map 10 is a 60-minute interval. So we're doing something aerobic for 60 minutes. Now that seems like a long time, and it is. And finding something that we can do aerobically for 60 minutes is very tough, where we're continuously moving without a break. So this is why, which I'll break down a little bit more next week, sometimes we have to build up our way to map 10 to start this progression. Sometimes we can't just hop on something for 60 minutes and be aerobic with it. Sometimes we have to take our time with this and start from 5, 10, 15, 20, 30, 40, 50. Finally, we get to 60 and we can start this progression. But there may even be a progression before we get to this progression. So learning that, we have to understand there's different aspects to each of these, and there's different things we need to follow within these. Time. Each of these has their own time that we're working with. Starting with 60, working our way all the way down to 30 seconds. 30 seconds aerobically, which I can't wait to explain, because 30 seconds aerobically looks a lot different than many people think 30 seconds of work should be. Resting in between each of these. With the MAP 10 at a 60-minute interval, we're not gonna need the same amount of rest as we're gonna need for 30 seconds of aerobic work. So doing that in the right way, progressing it in the right way, and packaging it together so someone's getting the most out of it is really important. The volume. How much should we be doing of MAP 10 all the way down working to MAP 1? There's a lot of different volume in between here, as we're gonna see, and as that volume changes, so does the rest time. And the last thing, throughout all of this, I'm gonna get a marker. This. Repeatability. We should be able to repeat everything throughout these aspects. That's when we're gonna show true aerobic mastery, meaning round 1 looks like round 2, looks like round 8, looks like round 12. Every single thing that we're gonna learn to do here through this progression is repeatability, sustainability, and doing that over a long period of time and getting really good at it. Being able to sustain a single movement or multiple movements within mixed modal, or just hopping on a bike or hopping on a row. When we're good and able to do that, we're gonna get the most out of our training, we're gonna get the most out of our movement, and we're gonna get in this zone where it's best for our body to balance everything out, best for fat loss, best for muscle gain. A lot of this stuff is also really good pairing with a strength program, which all the people at Thrive have their own individualized strength program. So doing this stuff helps us recover a little bit better, helps teach our body to move a little bit better, and that's gonna in turn benefit our strength stuff. So I hope this video helps. This is, like I said, just kind of the beginning of all this. I'm just kind of introducing you guys to the subject of sustainability. And if you guys have any questions, please ask. Like I said, in the coming weeks, I want to break down each of these. So there's map 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And I want to break down each one, let you know the time limits of each, how to work them, how to use them, how to utilize them so you can use them. And then hopefully you can use them on your clients, or you can use them yourself in your own gym or your own home, whatever you guys are doing. But yeah, so if you have any other specific questions, please let me know. Skinny boy out.